Look at that set lighting. You're gonna have to get used to me holding the phone until the rest of our stuff arrives. The movers get here in about 6 days. We got about one more week. Give you guys kind of a view out the window here in New York. I most recently made a video kind of briefly, it was like 20 minutes, going over how and why I chart. And I wanted to just kind of upload here and show the end result. I've got everything except for the lyrics to this very last demo. I love listening to artists' demos because I know people talk about demoitis as a thing to avoid, right? Getting so attached to how something is when you're not putting any effort or intention into it, that it makes you unable to see clearly how putting effort and intention into producing something can improve it, right? I'm aware of that relationship. But I lean a little bit more in the opposite direction, which is the idea that and I think this comes from being a Neil Young fan and a fan of like a lot of the minimalist composers, people who like chants and who like to emphasize non-intention in music. That doesn't mean not trying. It just means, finding little windows where you let things happen instead of trying to control them. I'm much more of a fan of the school of thought that demos do contain something important in them, I guess. And this last song that I haven't gotten the lyrics for yet, it's really cool to hear because you can hear the nature outside. I'm guessing it's a phone recording, and it's one of those things where the lyrics are getting repeated a little bit. The chords aren't necessarily always playing the same thing, and you can really hear the song being worked out in real time. I love hearing stuff like that. The finished recording, of course, we will sound like we know what we're doing, but yeah, I kind of want to show the end result of the process here. Let me switch you around. So the first thing I did was I went to a dollar store, and for the low price of $4, I got this notebook. I just kind of put the names of all the tracks here at the beginning, and then I went through, this is such an amazing song, Two Stone to Two Step. I cannot wait for this one. But I went through first, I've already thrown them out, but I went through first and kind of wrote quick charts, and then I went into this notebook and made nicer looking charts. This is also an amazing song, Murder. It is the poppiest song on the record, despite its intimidating title. Got almost a reggae or Mexican kind of feel. One of these, I believe it was accordion, actually. Yeah, this song that I was charting, I was listening a little bit closer to it, and I realized it wasn't always a D minor, and it wasn't necessarily an F-sus4. So I went through here and corrected it. And I'm about to show you guys something really cool about how that translated to the iPad. But yeah, I got all these here. And then what I have started doing in the past couple of years, because I am an artist and a lyricist, and that's something that I am trying to put more intention into, is I've started writing out the lyrics to these songs, because sometimes within lyrics, just by looking at them, you can get an idea, a musical idea from what someone has written, whether that's reading a paragraph and getting a mental image that translates into a tone, or even some sort of cue. Like there's one song in here. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, so Modern Love, which I think is one of the most beautiful songs that Jeremy's ever written. He has a lyric in here where he quotes this old time tune, Whiskey Before Breakfast, Cowboys and Men, A Yard in New York City, The Cascades in a Tent. Whiskey Before Breakfast is a very famous fiddle tune. Now, it would be a little cheesy to just outright quote Whiskey Before Breakfast during this part of the song, But it is something that's going to be on my mind when we're recording, and we'll kind of see, if I can fit an approximation of the melody in there or not. But yeah, I think that paying attention to the lyrics is very, very, very important. And a lot of times I believe us guitar players don't necessarily think about that stuff. We just think about the form. Now, once I had everything in here, because again, you never know, this might be unnecessary for the people I'm working with. This might end up being helpful. This is where you get to watch me try to figure out how an iPad works in real time. But anyways, what I did was I took photos of the sheet music with Cam Scanner. And then I saved them and I put them into this app called Fourscore. It was a one-time payment of $24. And I now have everything digitized in here. Now, one of the cool things, where's accordion? So in accordion, you'll notice none of those scratch marks that you saw earlier are in here. That's because you have the ability to edit after the fact in Fourscore. You can click on it with a one of these. It's not quite an iPen because I spent like $16 on it, but you can get one of these pens and then go in there, and you can see here some of the lines are a little bit erased. You can go over something with white, or if it's something you've made with the iPen, you can erase it yourself, and then you can update it. So here we have the original sheet with all those nasty scribblings, but on here, those nasty scribblings are gone, and we have a more accurate representation. So yeah, I went in here and just made a little set list, essentially, of all the songs so I can access them quickly. Whether this is something I'm reading off of while I'm recording, whether it's something that we bring to the gig, because we are going to play a gig on the last day of the session, and maybe that means we'll live for the first time. Or whether it's just something that we can use as a reference. You never know when this stuff is going to be useful during a session. And even if it's not pulled out, it does help get the tune into your brain, into your hands, which makes you a better part of the session, right? Being prepared. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of listen to the record now, sing along with it, see if there's any spots where there could be some cool harmonies. But it's been a wonderful first week here. We went to a spot called Cassette last night. It's been interesting for me kind of getting back out and socializing in the musician world, because I've had a kind of a rough time socially the past 5 years. I think that my exposure to a lot of things during the pandemic, a lot of things in person, a lot of things online, really kind of dimmed my hope for humanity, what I looked at priorly as like a very natural love of people. I feel like I became a bit more anxious and misanthropic. And I really, after 6 years, I've realized that's not who I am, and it's also not how I want to be. So last night was nice. I only really met a couple new people, and I felt very nervous, but also just very excited to be again in a room full of wonderful musicians. They were playing Neil Young, playing some Steely Dan, playing some Lou Reed. Everyone was singing Fleetwood Mac. Beautiful little underground bar, and it seemed like a really nice group of people. So gonna try to just not listen to those anxious voices and get out there a little bit more again, because I miss being part of a musical community. That never really happened for me too much in LA. Everyone that I knew in LA, I knew from another town. But yeah, excited about it here. So hopefully this is interesting, helpful. At the very least, it's a little peek into what's going on. See you guys soon.